Hi everybody. I know it's been a while. Been having a lot of stuff going on in my life right now, but it's all getting smoothed out, thankfully. I owe a big apology to Grace from Grace's Coloring Corner. If you guys don't know who she is, her link will be down in the description, so go and check her out. I am co-hosting. She had asked me to co-host with her Creative Haven August's with the Z at the end. You'll see the hashtag in the title, of course. And I've been slacking. I haven't been doing much coloring at all for August. I've had a lot of doctor's appointments, been doing a lot of things. So I really just haven't had time. I had serotonin syndrome that is finally getting worked out a little bit. So my hands are functioning a little bit better. So I figured I would try to play catch up, do a few Creative Haven videos, get them uploaded, get them out to you guys until I'm rearranging my art room, so that's another big project. But so right now I have Creative Haven, The Beautiful Language of Flowers by John Green. I'll give you guys a quick flip through of this, and then we're going to color a picture. So I think this is a really cute book if you like botanicals and florals, things like that, because it gives you like amaryllis and then it's splendid beauty. So each one gives you what flower it is plus a word that goes with those types of flowers. Anemone, sincerity. Carnation is faithfulness. I think this book's really cute because I myself like botanicals a lot. It gives me, I don't know, when I color flowers, I feel like I get more practice with blending, shading, putting different colors together, and just being creative. Because even though this tells me it's a daisy, I don't have to make it, you know, the yellow and white like you always see, or sometimes you can see it dyed different colors, but I can just do whatever I want. Be creative with it. And I like how some of the pictures gives you a frame, other ones give you different designs in the back, like this one has your little bricks with a bird. And it looks like I'm getting a shadow from this cord here, so I'm going to have to move that here in just a minute. Since I rearranged my room, I had to change my recording setup and the lighting, and it's not quite how I want it yet, but I'll get it there. And that's the end of the book. So again, it says over 30 stunning blooms to color. So this is A Beautiful Language of Flowers. Now this is the page that I'm going to be coloring today, the violets. Let's pop this back behind here. And I really like the Creative Haven books because they are perforated, so this way you can color them, rip them out, and be on your way. Send them to whoever you want. Alright, so hopefully that took care of the cord problem. Sorry for the shaking. Alright, I'm going to zoom you guys in just a little bit here. We'll start doing a little bit of coloring and some chit-chat. I am going to be laying down a base with some Aspire markers, these Aspire color markers. I will leave a link to them down in the description also. They're an alcohol-based marker, and I did do a review on them. That I will link to this video also. But yes, I did do a review on these, and I love these markers for an alcohol-based marker. I really do. So I'm going to go ahead and start with just the violets with my P84 Pastel Violet. So as I said, I'm rearranging my art room, And a big part of that is I'm trying to just sort out my life. You know, I have a lot of things going on medically. I have I have to get my headspace right too. So with that, I am just trying to kind of give my whole life a haul over. An overhaul? Is that how you say it? Overhaul? Well, you know what I mean. So I started rearranging when I could. With me having that serotonin syndrome for so long, I had muscle fatigue really bad, so I wasn't able to do a lot of what I wanted to get done. I did have an awesome, awesome friend who just kept pushing me. And, you know, she was always there whenever I had one of my really bad days. She was always there. I could call her. I could yell at her. I could cry. I could scream. I could laugh. I could, you know, tell her, hey, I'm having a really, really dark day today. You know, this is what's going on. And she was always there. Never got, you know, frustrated or upset. And it was really nice. And she helped me through some of the worst times of my life. She's planning a trip up here very soon, so that's going to be cool. I have some stuff coming up at the end of August, and then again at the end of September. Some procedures that I'm going to have done, and she's going to be up here. She's going to give me a hand, so that's going to be cool. Be nice to have some help, but not only that, just to have a friend from the coloring community come up, and we could visit and we can art together, color or craft or something. Also, while I'm going through my art room, I'm finding a lot of like crafting stuff that like I used to do, whether it be like paper crafting or card making, things like that. I'm finding a lot of old magazines that pertain to a lot of paper crafts or card making and things like that, or scrapbooking. And once I get all of those sorted out, I will be doing some giveaways on those. So if it's something that you guys are interested in, make sure to watch for those, because I just, you know, I want them to go to somebody who's going to use them or who would enjoy them, even if you just cut them up for, you know, your journaling and things like that. I know that's what I do, but I mean, I just have a lot of them, and some of them are in really good condition, some of them not so much, because, you know, my kids always used to flip through all of my books, magazines, things like that. But yeah, so as I'm going through, I'm finding boxes of stuff that I'm like, I'm never going to use this anymore. And I don't want to throw it away. And I could go and I can donate it to Goodwill, or as it was suggested to me, I could sell it. But really, I just want to give it to somebody who's going to use it and who will enjoy it. So, like I said, if it's something that you guys are interested in, make sure to watch out for those giveaways. They'll be coming up in the next few weeks to a month once I get it all sorted out. So like I said, I'm just laying real quick a base coat down on all of these flowers. I guess I could switch to the big end. It would go a little bit quicker. I do have that Fairies in Dreamland. I got to finish that picture. I haven't really finished, like I said, much of anything. I have my to-go bag, and if you guys have never seen my to-go bag, this is what it looks like. It's just an Amazon one. It opens up. You can put stuff inside of it that way, and then while I'm sitting at the doctor's office or whatever, I just open it up this way, and here's all my fine, like, you know, my black Sharpie, my white pens. In here's the colored pencils that I'm using for the picture. I throw in there just my Faber-Castell Trio sharpener. It just, ooh, I'm just going to make a mess here because I haven't emptied it yet. But it just pops open, and it has all 3 holes in it for me. I keep in here some, well, look, $1, and then some tags if I want to tag a page. But this is my to-go bag if when I go to my appointments, and then in my purse you always find a coloring book or a postcard size book, something like that. I will leave a link in the description for this if you guys are interested. I like it because it zips up. I can just carry it or throw it in my big bag. I know people have asked me before, what my to-go bag looked like, and I always forgot to show it when I was live streaming and things like that. So I figured now would be the time to go ahead and show it since I was talking about it. I gotta switch to the Fang, this one. Kids are back in school, so that helps me a little bit with things that are, going on. It's not as hectic right now. At least I have from like 8 to 3 to get some of my stuff done that I need to get done during the day. I had to switch around some of my appointments because some of my appointments were in the afternoon, and I wanted to bump them up to morning, so then this way I can get all of my appointments done before the kids come home, and I can still get some of the house cleaning done, get dinner done, all of that good mom stuff. They're really liking school. It's funny because, as my kids grow up, their teachers always overlap. They've been going to the same school for, well, Oz started here in the first grade. And I mean, he's a senior in high school. So like Blaze's teacher this year had Oz. Her very first year of teaching, she had Oz. So it's funny having Blaze in her class, in fifth grade. And she was telling him, even though I told him, but moms don't know nothing. And so he comes home and he's like, Mom, can you believe that my teacher taught Oz? I'm like, yeah, I told you that. And he's like, well, I didn't know for sure. So it's kind of funny because even, the teachers point out the different personalities in the kids. And Oz at that age, he was just, I guess all of my kids have that kind of like rushing, except for Xander. Like they rush through things because they're afraid they're going to miss something going on with their friends or going on in class, or so they rush through their homework, they rush through their school, their schoolwork, whatever they're working on in class. Their handwriting's always really sloppy. But like Oz at that age, he was just like, he wanted to rush through and he just wanted to talk. Where Blaze, on the other hand, is just like, all right, I just want to rush through this and I just want to sit and relax, probably thinking about Fortnite in his head because he lives for Fortnite. And so he's just more laid back unless you mess with his video games, and he's just like this angry little bird. But yeah, so, and like Xander, he has a teacher that Oz and Blaze has had before, and she's all like, oh my God, he's just such a different kid. Like he really takes his time. He wants to make sure his handwriting is neat. He wants to pay attention more, just, really listening in class, real attentive, and, he just genuinely cares about everybody. So like if he sees somebody crying, he's the first one to run over there, are you okay? And gives him a hug. But that's the way Xander's always been. But it's so nice though to, see the teachers writing little notes or, saying things when you talk to them about, the kids and their personalities. And Zayden is a character of his own. The kids, since it's so hot, and the school in the elementary part of the school, because our school goes from preschool up to 8th grade. So in the elementary part, which is your preschool up until 4th grade, in part of the 5th grade area, they don't have air conditioning. So the kids are able to go and bring water bottles to school. So we went out and we got the kids water bottles, and of course, we let them pick out the ones that they want. And here's Zayden, which I thought Xander would be the one to do it, but it wasn't. It was Zayden. He gets this bright pink one with unicorns on it. And I'm like, and I'm thinking, I let my kids be whoever they are. I don't ever judge who they are. But I also, as a mom, had to think in the back of my head, well, how are they going to get treated at school? So I'm like, buddy, are you sure that's the one that you want? I'm like, it has unicorns on it. And he's like, yeah, but my BFF, which is a girl, loves unicorns, and I want to get it because she's going to get a unicorn one too. And I was like, well, okay. And so the first day that he comes home from school after using his water bottle, He was like, Mom, the kids are making fun of me because I had a unicorn water bottle. And he's like, but I don't care. They can say whatever they want. It doesn't matter to me. I still like it because my BFF has one too. So I thought that was cool that he was, coming into his own person and just not caring about, people being bullies. He just lets it roll off, and I thought that was really nice. I am going to use my Black Widow pencils. I kind of They're kind of from all sets, even the skin tone set I kind of threw in here because I wanted to make these violets. My African violets come in many shades. You got your lighter purples, your darker purples, some that just look like they're almost blue. But I like the ones with a really dark center where it goes out into like that purple, into that pinky purple, and that's how I want to make these. So I'm going to start with the darkest. I couldn't find the dark that I want, so I am going to mix two colors to make it as dark purple as I want it to be, which is going to be Space, which is from the Cobra set, CB80, and Midnight, which I took from the skin tone set, the dark skin tone set, which is 024. But yeah, so, bullying is such a big thing. There are so many, even adults don't know how to just stop. If you don't like something, then move on. You don't need to go around bashing people. You don't need to go around, saying nasty things. And kids are just brutal. And when they're growing up and they get bullied like that, it can really, be detrimental. I know adults who have committed suicide because of cyberbullying, because of, even bullying in real life because they didn't have a lot of money or they didn't have a good enough job, and their, people in their community just didn't, kind of stuck their nose up at them and things like that. And it's a really sad, sad thing. And I never want my kids to be bullied, nor they better never bully anybody. So I'm going to go in here with the Space now and just go over this Midnight that I put down just to deepen up that purple. So, but I was really pleased when he's just like, Mom, I don't care. I don't let them bother me. And I told him, I was like, well, I'm like, if it ever bothers you, you let me know, but I've taught my kids, to have thicker skin and to realize that there are some people or some, children, even adults, that just didn't learn properly. Like they have to make other people miserable to feel better about themselves. And so, or for whatever reason, or maybe they just didn't have the right upbringing, or, there's so many things that play into it. That I hope that they carry that with them for the rest of their lives and never bully anybody or let anybody bully them, because there's so much more to life than that. So now I'm going to go in with the Cobra CB118, the Grape. But yeah, so far they're all really liking school, which is good because last year I had issues with Blaze not wanting to go to school. He just, every morning it was, I have a stomach ache, I have this, I have that, and it was always a fight with him. But this year he seems to really like it so far. I'm not gonna say that that's gonna be like that all year. And I think video games kind of take over sometimes. They want to be home so they can be playing their video games. And what they don't understand is most of their friends that they play the video games with, well, they're at school with them. So they're not playing either. So even if you stay home from school and you play your video games, the friends that you do play with, they're not on either. Not that that's all he plays with, because he has some that he doesn't go to school with, but I try to make them see that point. Like their kids go to school. This is the time that kids are in school. Go to school. When you come home after you do your homework, you can have some game time. It's so weird coloring at this. I'm at a different desk now. My big desk that I used to color on is actually next to me, but I have my two put together, and this is kind of, I'm using Plum pudding from the Black Widow set. It's Black Widow number 10, and I'm just doing it real light just to give me that pinky purple look. I couldn't find a pinky purpley color that I really wanted. So I'm going to go back over that to make a different color. But yeah, so the way that I switched my art room around, I figured this would be a nicer place for me to record on. It's just a 4-foot drafting table. So this way I can just leave all my recording stuff here. I can leave whatever, I'm working on over here. And then if I wanted to work on something else on my own time, I can move over to my other desk and work on it there. But it's weird because this desk sits higher up. I'm going to go over it now with Amethyst, also from the Black Widow set, BW08. It sits up a little bit higher, and I feel kind of like I am stretching more, but really I'm not. It's just a different angle. Not that it's a bad thing. With this Amethyst here, I'm kind of going over the whole flower, but I'm toning down that pink just a little bit. My hands still don't want to let me color for as long as I used to be able to. That's something that I'm still working on, trying to get back into the swing of. I was at the doctor's office on, Wednesday. Was it Wednesday? Last Wednesday, I was at the doctor's office, and I had brought my little postcard book with me, and I was sitting there, and normally with one of those postcards book, because you sit at the doctor's office forever, I can get at least half of a picture done, and I couldn't. It just wasn't working for me at all. I ended up just doing the skin tone of the girl that I was working on. I'm gonna go in here with this Snow from the light skin set 005. I'm going to go around this middle section here because I want to keep that as white as I can, with just a little bit of this light yellow from the Cobra Set CW27. But yeah, I felt like I just couldn't get as much done as I used to be able to. This is from the Scorpion Set Yellow Sand SC63. Make these insides yellow, and then I'm just going to go in and darken it up just a little bit with Nugget CB34. Oops, just down at this base here. Just want a little bit darker. So slowly I'm getting there. I'm getting back to, where I used to be. It's just a process. Oops. And I keep forgetting, since it's a drafting table, it has this little metal bar here that you can, put up so your pencils don't roll off. And I keep forgetting about it, and I'm knocking into it and everything else. I'm just a mess lately. Just a mess. So that's pretty much how I want all the flowers to look. I'm going to go in and just kind of get some of these areas blended just a little bit better. But, if you look at violets, a lot of the times it's stark. You got this really black spot, and then it goes into this purple that's like 5 shades lighter. And I think that's why I like them, just because they're so bold in the color variances. Now over here, I'm not going to do any of the dark. I'm just going to do the medium and the light on these closed buds, because I always see the dark in the center of the flower, not on the closed flower. So I'm just going to go in with the grape. I might take a little bit of that dark purple that I used. What color was that again? Space. And just come in here where the shadows are. I need to get a new desk mat too. I've been looking at different designs, trying to figure out which one I wanted, or which one I want. Because this one here, well, I've spilled paint on it, I've splattered paint on it, there's glitter that is going to be there for, well, forever. I spilled glitter paint on it the other day. It's always something. And I'm like, yeah, I think it's time for a new one. Alright, I'm going to go back in with this space and just kind of darken up right here. I'm not going to go into it with the midnight though and make it really dark. Just like that. Okay, so I am going to, from here, I'll probably stop talking for a little while. I'm going to go ahead and speed this video up. Oops. Speed this video up, finish off these flowers, and then we'll move on to the leaves and we'll talk some more. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, so I've literally been sitting here talking to you guys for the last 10 minutes, um, not realizing that my microphone was turned off. I turned it off when I was doing the coloring of the violets there. And then it dawned on me like, oh crap, there's no volume. So to go back to what I'm doing, I did a base coat of the yellow green, the GY48. And I'll kind of speed this up and then bring it back to here where I start talking. And so now I'm using the BW09, the Fang green, to just kind of go around these edges. But so what I was saying for the last 10 minutes or so is, first off, I'm trying to get my muscle memory back. I can't color for very long like I used to. I'm lucky to get, half hour, 45 minutes on a really good day of color time. And after that, I really have to take a break because my hands just want to give out on me. And it kind of reminds me of, when I first started coloring, because when I first started coloring, that's how it was. I remember my hands cramping up on me a lot. And that's how I feel now. Like they just start aching and get kind of crampy. So I'm hoping eventually to be able to go back to live streaming where my hands can actually handle it. Not like right now, because right now I can't handle much. I'm making a lot of changes in my life and my channel. Right now I'm just doing a lot of pre-recorded videos, so this way I'm able to stop and pick up, once I give my hands a rest, I can then pick up after that and do a little bit more. I'm trying to give you guys at least a little bit of content updates, what's going on with me and the channel. I did get a few books in. An artist sent me some books to review for them, so that review is going to be coming up really soon. I have one more Elena Lazareva book to review. It's actually going to be a combo, because it's two of her books, but it's going to be a combo review, since they're both kind of similar. So the next color that I'm going to use is the olive green SC62. So that's going to be coming. And like I said, I got two more books from another artist that I will review shortly. I need to get back to my Fairies in Dreamland. I want to do at least 1 to 2 more Creative Haven books, videos. It's kind of nice because, like I said, I'm trying to build up this muscle memory. So I've been forcing myself to try to color every day, even if it's just for 10 minutes. I've been trying to color every day. So then this way I can start building those muscles back up. And hopefully get back to where I was, because I miss you guys. I miss live streaming. I just can't do it right now. I don't wish this upon even my worst enemy. The feeling is just alien. It's very uncomfortable to not be able to use your hands properly. You go from one day using your hands really good, and the next day it's like, okay, well, this is what you have, and this is why, your legs are feeling weak and your hands don't want to work. I can't tell you how many times, because I'm a writer, like every time I'm stressed out or things are going on, I write. And I would write and I would look at my writing and be like, who the heck wrote this? Because it just looked totally different, because I couldn't hold the pen the way that I wanted to or the way that I was used to. It was a struggle. So I'm kind of glad that things are getting back. My handwriting looks a little bit like it used to. Staying in the lines when I'm coloring, that's a task for me now. Not that you have to stay in the lines, because, well, most of the time I didn't anyway. But it's a little harder because I don't have that control. I feel like sometimes I feel like before I used to hold my pencil back here, when I colored, and now I have to hold it a little bit more up front just to feel like I have some form of control. I can't believe summer's almost over. Trying to keep my kids healthy. Strep throat's been going around really bad. You know, the weather's just been weird this year, at least in my area. It's been so weird. And, you know, we're only on the second week of school, and kids are already, you know, missing school. I know that Xander already had, I think it was 3 kids absent from his class today, all with strep throat. Luckily, they don't have it yet. I've been loading them up with their daily vitamins and then some extra vitamin C, trying to keep them healthy while I'm trying to keep myself healthy too, because I can't afford to get sick right now with everything that I have happening. So yeah, that's a battle. So as I said before, right now you guys are going to get a lot of pre-recorded videos until my hands start feeling better. So if you guys ever want me to do something specific, you know, a technique, or you guys want to see a certain book being colored in, send me an email, leave a comment. If I can squeeze it in, I will, of course. If I can do it, of course I will. Doesn't mean that I'm gonna, you know, fulfill everybody's request, but I will try the best that I can. I want to thank all of you guys that have left wonderful comments, sent me wonderful emails, you know. I actually met a couple of new friends that reached out to me that I enjoy talking to. I talk to some of them, you know, on a daily basis or an everyday basis, and, you know, getting to know people a little bit better. It's been nice. I still have emails that I have to get back to. But yeah, it's been hard. But I'm managing. That's all we can do, right? We can just manage our lives and hope for the best. Okay, so the last color I'm going to use is olive brown. It's in the dark skin set. It's SD012. I'm just going to kind of go over the whole thing. Blend it all together. It was weird, because you figure I didn't color for a while. I just couldn't. My hands wouldn't let me. And so when I finally was able to pick up my pencils and not feel like I was a stranger writing, you know, like when I wrote, it just looked like a stranger wrote. I didn't even recognize the handwriting as my own. Ooh, I missed that little petal there. I didn't know, like I felt like I didn't know what I was doing. It felt so weird holding the pencil. It felt odd trying to blend, because, you know, I normally color with very light pressure. And then, you know, I come in with my lightest color, and I don't use heavy pressure, but I use a medium pressure to kind of blend everything in, you know, push it all together. And it felt so weird, like I didn't know what I was doing. And so I can't wait, like even now, like it's getting better, but like even now, I still feel like at times I have no idea what I'm doing. Like it just doesn't want to, it's not giving me the results that I picture in my head, or I should say it's not giving me the results that I know that I used to achieve. But I have to stop being so hard on myself, because I think that's my biggest problem, is I'm expecting to color the way that I used to, but I have to realize that that's not going to happen for a while with everything that's going on. But I'm on new medication now that kind of helps. It's one of those slow ramp up medications. So I'm on a really low dose, but it has no serotonin in it. Because they totally took me off of serotonin for right now. So I'm on a really low dose, and I'm kind of being built up from there to get my mental health back on track. And I can feel it sort of working. Not quick enough for me. But then again, you know, when you're sick, I guess nothing is quick enough, right? Because you want results ASAP. But all in due time, all in due time. I have been kind of, in my postcard book, I've been doing a portrait. And it's funny because it's a Hannah Carlzon book, and you would think that I would be tired of that by now, but I'm not. But I've been kind of steering away from portraits, especially when I record, because if you guys have seen me live stream portraits, you know that I take my time with scanning. That kind of takes me the longest. So I've been kind of steering away from them for now until everything starts working like I want it to. I'm trying to think of what color I want to do this background. I'm kind of wanting to do it like a light yellow, but I think I might do it blue because I think this outside I want to do gold. Still not sure yet. Okay, let's see. I want to kind of blend this in a little bit more. I don't like some of these stark lines I have going on. But I am liking the way this is turning out so far, considering my frustration the last couple of weeks. So, you guys getting any new books lately? I know I got my my spirit animal book. I haven't even colored in it yet, just because I want to do one of the portraits, but I want to wait till I'm actually able to sit down and do the skin like I want to. Alright, I'll be back in just a minute. I gotta go get I don't have my stuff out. I wasn't expecting to finish these leaves as quickly as I did. I'm gonna go and get my markers out for the background and for this little bee guy, and I will be back in just a minute. Okay, and I'm back. So I pulled out a blue to do for the background, and I'm hoping beyond hope that it doesn't look horrible. Oh, so I'm using still Aspire color. I'm going to use the PB185, the pale blue light. I figured I'd start out light, and if I didn't like it, I can darken it up or just come in with some pencil. So wish me luck here, guys. Well, by the time you can wish me luck, I guess I'll already be done. I used to love Crayola Super Tips, and I still do. But I tried earlier this week to color with them, and I don't know why, but it felt very foreign to me. I was actually going to use them for this picture, and I decided not to because I didn't want to get frustrated. I don't know what my issue is with them. I'm determined, though, to go back to them and to figure out what I'm doing wrong that I used to do right. This is really going to bother me. I'm going to let this dry and go back over this so I can get rid of all those lines. I'm going to bring it down to this narrow section here and come back. But yeah, do you ever have that? Where, you know, you've used something, use it, you haven't used it in a while, you go back to it and it just feels different? That's how I felt with those super tips. And then, like I said, I'm redoing my art room and I'm reorganizing things. Um, and I cannot at all find my Crayola color pencils. Um, they were still in a box, in the original Crayola box that they came in, and for the life of me, I cannot find them. I don't know if one of the kids borrowed them and they never brought them back, or what happened to them. So that is on my list. I have to get a new box of Crayola colored pencils. And I meant to pick up a new box anyway, school supply shopping with the kids, but when we went to Walmart school supply shopping, they did not have the 120, the 100, none of those bigger packs of Crayola colored pencils, which I thought was really odd. You can get 12s and 24s, but that was the biggest that I was able to find at our Walmart. And I don't know if it was because we went later. Um, you know, most of the school supplies when we got there were picked over pretty good. Not that it mattered, because we just had to get, you know, the specific things that the kids needed, but they were picked over pretty good. And I don't know if they were just out of them. You know, there was just this massive crowd that wanted Crayola 100 count colored pencils or what it was. So I want to get back out there and see if they restocked, since some of the school supplies most of the school supplies are still on sale, because in this area, you know, there's a lot of school districts all around, and some of them still haven't started school yet. You know, ours started already, but some of the other districts have not. So I know that school supplies are still on sale, so I'm going to run back out there and I'm going to see if they restocked, and hopefully I can get me a new set of them, because they are cheaper buying them in the store than they are online. And if they don't have them there, I might make a little bit of a longer trip to drive out to Target to see if I can get them there. I wish that everything was just closer to me. You know, the closest Walmart's about a half hour from us. Everything's just a drive. Drive. So I try to, when we have to go out, I don't know, I'm kind of liking this blue now. When we have to go out, I try to make it, a trip to get groceries, to get, anything that the kids need for school or sports or whatever. I try to make it like an all day, let's go get everything done at one time and be done with it. So when we shop for groceries and things like that, I normally try to shop for the whole month. And that's really hard to do, but it's just easier because our little mom and pop grocery store that we have in town, they are so expensive. Matter of fact, the other day we went, or I should say Ricky went, and I'm just going to color this bumblebee straight. Oh wait, I know what I wanted to do. I wanted to come in here with this blue and do the wings too, because I want to make them see-through, and then I'll darken them up. But so Ricky went to the little mom and pop shop and to buy some frozen pizzas the other day. So he ran over there, he came home, and he threw them in the oven, not paying no mind, because, we all know how men are. And so then he came to me, and he's like, do these look funny to you? And one of the pizzas looked absolutely fine, like a pepperoni pizza should look. The other one, though, it looked like the pepperonis were like a year old. They were gray looking, and the smell coming off of it was god awful. I've never smelled a smell like that before. And so I told him, like, don't feed that to the kids. I'm like, that's not a good pizza. I'm trying to find my fine liner. Oh. And of course, when I want one, I can't find one. I wonder if this one works. This one works sometimes, but not all the time. But yeah, so that was really disappointing. So that's, you know, because that store is so high, a lot of the people here in town don't go to it. And I don't think that they're very good at checking their expiration dates. So we try to steer clear from that. Oh, I didn't use those. Okay, so now I'm going to go into the Y36 cream, and that's what I'm going to do this whole outside frame area with. We do have our Dollar General. They just did a big remodel at our Dollar General. It's crazy because they actually, I've never been, and you guys might have them where you live, but I've never been in a Dollar General where they sell like fresh produce. Like you can go in there and you get grapes and grapefruits and apples and oranges, and they expanded their frozen food section, and so now you have like a whole wall of freezers with, you know, an array of things. So I said, at least that's in town now, so you don't have to go to the mom and pop shop. And that helps out a little bit, but it's still, you know, it's still kind of high compared to what you can get at a grocery store or even at a Walmart. We have, by us, we have Hy-Vee, and if you go in the other direction, we have Kroger. But yeah, so Dollar General is still a little bit high on prices compared to them, but it's better than the little mom and pop shop, I'll tell you that. And if this noise is bothering you guys, mute it for a little bit, please. I don't mind the marker sound. I found out that Xander eats lunch at school. Or not lunch. Well, he eats lunch too, but all my kids have breakfast at school because they do leave very early and the school offers breakfast. So I found out Xander's been skipping breakfast. I couldn't, you know, he wouldn't tell me why. He's like, I just don't want to go. I don't want to go. And so, you know, I'm like, well, then you have to get up earlier so you can have breakfast at home if you're not going to have breakfast at school. And of course, he still wasn't getting up earlier. Trying to get my kids up in the morning is a fight as it is. But anyway, so then I found out that he doesn't like going to breakfast because they don't have cereal. And so I was, you know, trying to explain to him that breakfast is more than just cereal. You know, he's had like, I make on the weekends, I try to make breakfast for my family when I'm able to. You know, I make eggs or pancakes or waffles and things like that. But at school they have like, you know, they have school food like breakfast burritos and, you know, things like that. And so he's never even tried them. He didn't try anything because he didn't like the way it sounded. So finally this week he decided yesterday to go to breakfast for the first time. And I forgot what they even had, but he came home and he's like, Mom, breakfast was actually really good. He's like, we had such and such. And I was like, good. So tonight before he went to bed, you guys, it's 3:04 a.m. right now. I couldn't sleep, so I figured I was just going to do a video. But before he went to bed, we were talking about what they are going to have for breakfast tomorrow at school. And we have a calendar, you know, so we looked it up, and they're having muffins, and they normally have like a blueberry or banana nut, I think, are their options for muffins. And he's like, oh, he's like, I don't think I've ever had one of them, which he has, but you know, he's like, but they both sound pretty good. He's like, yeah, I guess I can go to breakfast tomorrow and try it out. So I just thought that was so cute because he was so anti-breakfast, and now, you know, he's branching out and trying new things and not just going by how they sound. Because I'm thinking this poor kid, he's going to have to get up at like 6:15 a.m. to eat breakfast. get dressed in time to leave to make it for the bus, and that was never going to happen. I have a hard enough time getting him up when I do. I was kind of glad when the school offered breakfast because of how early they leave the house to go and get on the bus. We went to visit Ricky's family 2 weekends ago, and we came home, and it was dark out. It was 9-10 o'clock at night. We came home, and we had a bat in our house. Oh my god. And it's not the first time we've had a bat in the house. They come into the fireplace sometimes. They're normally just the baby ones. But yeah, so that was, Ricky took the broom and was going after it. And then we had another one get in the house not that long ago. And he was at work. So here I am with the broom chasing it around. Those things are just a pain in the butt. And we have them here a lot. You normally see them, circling the street lights stuff. Ours get in through our fireplace at times. And I try to keep, the fireplace closed up when we're not using it. So, nothing can get in. Even if it, comes down the chimney, it's not coming in the house. But Blaze goes in that room and he plays in the living room, and he plays Fortnite in there on the PlayStation. And that kid, I swear, sometimes I wonder about him, because he has to touch everything and get into everything, and so he'll sit there and he'll put his feet up on the fireplace cover, and not even thinking about it, he knocks it off, or it shifts. And so then when it shifts, he doesn't ever put it back to the way it's supposed to go. And needless to say, we get the bats in the house then. So we've been battling that. Okay. So I'm going to try to get this kind of a gold look. So I'm going to use... What am I going to use? I don't know how many of these I'm actually going to use. But we're going to start off with some dark chocolate. It's in the Scorpion set, and I don't know the number to it because I actually had to write dark chocolate on there. When I got the pencils, it was like just a white lines going across, and there was no actual name on there. So I just wrote dark chocolate on there, going off the back of the case. I figured out which one it was. So I'm going to use some dark chocolate, some dark tan, which is SC18. I pulled out the stink bug from the Black Widow set. It's the Black Widow, or BW01. I don't know if I'm actually going to use that one or not. I don't know. I'm going to go back to the Nugget, which is CB34. And then I got from the Cobra set, it is the CB32. It's the actual gold, but it's more like a cream color. So that's what I'm going to go with as my lightest. I'm going to kind of go in with this chocolate here and just do some of these darker areas. This Common Core math is I don't even understand that stuff, you guys. I have just no idea. I just know how to do math. And so, Blaze has been needing help with his math. And so I show him my way and he's like, what the heck are you doing? And I was like, listen, this is the way that I know how to do this math. So, because they don't have textbooks. So it's not even something like you can look up unless I'm looking up online. And sometimes I tell them like, well, we're going to have to go to Google and figure out how you're supposed to do this or how, you're taught to do this in school. I say, because since you guys don't have textbooks, it's not like I can look it up in your textbook and be like, okay, well, this is, what chapter you're on. This is, how it's supposed to go, or this is how, as a reference. I can't even do that, which is quite frustrating, to be honest with you. Like, I understand that, technology has come a ways, and kids are, they have Chromebooks now in school, or they're on laptops or computers, and they don't have a lot of textbooks, saving the planet, less paper, things like that. But it makes it hard when us parents don't have access to some of those, learning tools they have in school. Because when our kids need help, well, we learned a totally different way. At least my generation did, and I'm sure, a lot of yours did. And when I was going to school, like I even learned it different than, my dad or my grandma. I remember times where I needed help. And, whether it be my dad, my mom, my grandma, whoever, in elementary school, they would do it different. And I kind of learned their way too, along with the way, that I was learning in school. So it was just really different. But yeah, this Common Core stuff, it's supposed to be easier. I don't know about all that. Um, Blaze and I had a division problem today, and it was, big number, long number division. And so I taught him how to do it like long division ways, and he's just looking at me, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Well, it's division, and I'm trying to teach my 10-year-old how to do long division." And he was like, "Well, that's not how we do it in school." And I said, "Listen, I said, if you need help with this and we want to find the answer, this is the only way your old mom knows how to do it. So we're either going to do it this way," I'm like, "or you take this to school and you tell your teacher, well, my mom only knows how to do long division, so I need help figuring this out." And he just looked at me. He's like, "Fine, show me your way." Um, so that was kind of a learning curve too, because I'm showing him and I'm teaching him, and he's like, "I just don't understand." But finally it clicked, and he, by the end of the time of him and I, doing the homework, he finally understood, and he's like, "Oh, okay, now I get it. Yeah, that's not too hard." I was like, God. But then, I started thinking, I'm like, if he could catch on to long division, or, what I was saying just in, our 20-30 minute homework help session, I should be able to catch on to this Common Core stuff, right? I don't know. Like, just the way that they do it. Like they have like that touch math. And I don't know if you guys have, kids that learn touch math. Which I understand it. If you have, if you have a 3, if it's, let's say if it's 5 plus 3, so you have your 5 and then you would touch it. So 5, 6, 7, 8. And each number had, they give you these dots on the number. So like number 5 has 5 dots. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if it's 5 plus 5, you would go 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is, how they're teaching them. But to me, it's just foreign because, well, 5 plus 5 is 10. I think, when I was growing up, it was more of a memory thing than a touch math kind of thing. And well, Blaze and Zayden both, well, they both still use their fingers. to count. They don't even use a touch math. And I said, you know, if you guys just memorized it and just knew it, or can do that math in your head, I said it would be so much easier and so much quicker. But, you know, everybody learns at their own pace. So I'm just going in here and I'm just darkening up some of these. They kind of have these lines in here already, but I'm just darkening up some of the, like, where it curves around, because the light would be on the top, the dark would be on the bottom, kind of thing. At least in my head, and it sounds good in my world. And I live in my world, so I say that's how I want to do it. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with the dark tan. And I'm just going to kind of go over the dark that I just did and just bring it out a little bit. I don't know why, but I really like doing golds on a lot of things. I've been on this gold leaf kick lately. Like, I like doing my leaves in golds, whether it's like an older gold or a brighter, like yellowy kind of gold, or even like bronzes. Every set of pencils that I get, I always try to do like a skin tone. I always try to figure out a skin tone in those, and then I figure out my silvers and my golds, my metal colors, because in everything else after that, I kind of, you know, it's just whatever feels right at the time. You kind of pick out your, you know, your dark, your medium, and your light. But for me, my skin tones and my metals are always the important ones. I'd love to know what everybody else does. You know, when you get a set of pencils, like, what do you have to have in your life when it comes to like a color combo? And I don't know why silver and gold's like so important to me, because it's not like I use silver and gold in every picture, but it is something that I sit down and I try to figure out first and foremost. And I have a color combo book where I have my like Black Widow gold set, but in this whole moving everything around, I cannot even find that. And I don't know why, because the shelf that it was on, the shelf just got relocated. What I ended up doing was, dear Ricky, he transformed my closet. I have a closet in here, and he transformed my closet just into shelving. So now I have all of my books and some of my journals and even my like reading books are all in my closet, you know, neatly on shelves. And so I just had to transfer stuff over from the bookshelves and from the other shelves that I had into my closet. And I don't know how, like, so I just had stacks of books at one point because I wanted to move the bookshelf to another location. So I'm like, well, if I need to move the bookshelf, but I want to reorganize my coloring books, I'm just going to pile them into these, you know, little piles here. And I can go through them, I can organize them, then I can put them all on the shelf the way that I want them. And then I can move the bookshelf to move my boxes of supplies over there. So that's how that all went down. Well, somewhere in all of that, I put stuff somewhere, and my mind isn't the way that it should be right now. I need to start taking that like ginkgo biloba or whatever it's called from memory, because my memory is shot at the moment. So I put everything somewhere, and for the life of me, I cannot find it. Like, I've searched this entire room. So I don't know if I might have set it somewhere else. Because, I mean, I've even looked like right outside the room. I don't know. I feel like I'm losing my mind when things like that happen. I guess I could have sped this up for you guys. Because I'm just sitting here rambling. And I'm sure you guys don't want to hear my rambling. I just feel so disconnected from all of you. You know, I used to stream a lot, and now I can't even do that because my hands just won't let me. Like right now, I can feel my hands cramping up, but I'm so close to being done that I just want to be done. I'm going to skip over the stink bug, and I'm going to go straight to the nugget to give it kind of like that yellowy look. There was, you know, for a while there, like I didn't even open up my laptop. I didn't even get on my phone really, except to check my emails. Like I stayed off of YouTube because, you know, I was just getting so depressed. And so I just kind of shut everybody out, shut everything out for a while. And then, you know, I started getting better. And then with my medication, and then my medication made me sicker. It just felt like a never ending cycle for me. But now I'm on the right path for my mental health, so that's good. Like I said, I felt really bad. Grace, again, I'm so sorry, hon. I'm playing catch up on this. You know, Grace had asked me to do this way back in April, May. I think it was May, maybe June, but it was a while back. And I'm like, yeah, sure. You know, I never expected these, you know, things to happen, but there's a lot of, you know, unexpected things that happen in life. But yeah, I did feel bad. I'm like, I don't want to let her down, so I need to, you know, push myself. I need to get at least a couple videos done. I have right now my lighting. It looks like it's kind of washing things out, so I might have to like change my some of my settings. Because before, I have a new light coming soon. Before my light kind of shined down like that. But now, since I moved it, it kind of comes in more this way instead of this way, which is better on my eyes because I feel like I can see a little bit better. But looking at the screen right now, the camera, it just kind of like washes stuff out. So I might have to get another light to come down on top, or one that's kind of coming in this way. Maybe to eliminate some of these shadows too that I kind of see. Don't worry guys, it'll all get worked out. Just it's taking a little bit of time. You know, and the great thing with having a marker base, if you guys have never done a marker base, I highly suggest that you try it. Because the good thing is that you don't have to be like completely accurate with where you're placing your color, just because that marker kind of helps hide some of the flaws a little bit. The only bad thing is I'm trying to, because the color is kind of, you know, the color that I use is close to the color that I'm using now. It's just a shade lighter. So I'm trying to figure out like where I actually put color down at and where I didn't. Okay, So I'm going to come back in with the CB32, the gold, and I'm just going to go over all of this and blend it all together. So for this one, I don't even have to be precise. It doesn't matter. I just know that I started at this leaf, so I got to end at that leaf. Blend all this up. I need to get on Instagram. I haven't even been on Instagram and gotten forever. I jumped on the other day because I got a message from the artist who sent me the books to review, to respond back to them. But besides that, I haven't even been on there. Like I said, I was in such a depression because things just weren't feeling right that I just stayed away because I knew I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do. Oops, sorry, I'm out of frame there. Trying to make it all the way around. I was hoping that Kirby's new book, World Within Worlds, was going to come out this year, but apparently it's not coming out to I think it was March of 2020, and I was so sad about that. I'm a huge Kirby fan. You know, before all this happened, I had asked a few channels if they wanted to do a project with me, like we did the Hannah Carlson project of the Kirby Roseanne's books. And now I don't know if that's really in the future. I know a few of the channels backed out due to things that are out of my control. But so I don't know. Maybe when I start feeling better, that is what I will do. Okay, so this is where we are. This is the finished picture. I think though that I do want to come in and I want to just kind of make some of this just a little bit more yellow. Like I like the white, I just think that it's too much white. So I just want to darken that up just a little bit. But I'm not even going to put a background on it. I want to leave that white just so that this is kind of centered. But, okay, guys, I will leave all the information, of course, down in the description, the colors that I used, of course, the book, links to everything. And hopefully I'll get this uploaded very soon, right? It's the 22nd right now. It's 3:30 a.m. And so hopefully I'll get it uploaded today, edited and uploaded, and then hopefully I'll get another video out to you guys soon. So until then, bye guys, have a great day, and thanks for watching.